While fast food isn't exactly fine dining, you might want to think twice before biting into the beef at certain chains. No one goes to Domino's expecting a gourmet pizza experience. This is all about quick, affordable pies. Still, most people hope the ingredients are at least decent. Lately, though, Domino's hasn't exactly earned praise for quality. In 2022, Reddit users discussed what they saw as a drop in standards, with one noting that high staff turnover means inexperienced employees are often tasked with making your pizza. Another thread singled out the beef, with many agreeing they disliked it. The chain's beef also raises a bigger concern: antibiotics. Healthline explains that meat from animals treated with antibiotics can contribute to antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Domino's has already eliminated poultry from flocks treated with antibiotics, but beef remains an issue. Jack in the Box carries a notorious reputation for one of the worst E. coli outbreaks in fast food history, a crisis that did help reshape food safety standards. You'd hope that would translate into higher quality ingredients, but a closer look at what they serve might give you pause. For example, the beef in their tacos is actually a mix of beef, chicken, textured vegetable protein, and defatted soy grits, so it's not really all beef. On the plus side, their hamburger patties are made from 100% beef. If you're cautious about antibiotics, Jack in the Box might not be the safest bet. While the chain has a thorough animal welfare policy covering antibiotics in poultry, it doesn't address beef at all. Without a clear policy, there's no way to know exactly what's in the beef you're eating there.
All right, we'll look into that.
MrBeast teamed up with Virtual Dining Concepts in 2020 to launch a burger brand using ghost kitchens, commercial kitchens that operate out of existing restaurants or rental spaces. While there's one physical MrBeast burger location in New Jersey, most orders nationwide come from these ghost kitchens. The downside of this setup is that the quality of ingredients and preparation can vary widely. Customers have reported issues ranging from the flavor of the burgers to sloppy assembly. In 2023, MrBeast filed a lawsuit against Virtual Dining Concepts to terminate their contract, citing complaints from customers who publicly criticized the burgers. Flame-grilled enthusiasts might want to think twice about the beef at Burger King when it comes to antibiotics. The company currently has no policy regarding antibiotic use in its meat. While U.S. regulations generally prohibit antibiotic residues in beef, and random tests rarely find any, those who want to be extra cautious might consider avoiding Burger King until a clear policy is in place. Whether the company will update its stance remains uncertain. This is still an improvement over a 2013 scandal, when an Irish meat supplier was found distributing beef contaminated with horsemeat. Some Burger King patties tested positive for horse DNA. While horsemeat isn't inherently harmful, the incident certainly didn't help the chain's reputation for consumer trust.
Shouldn't have gone to Burger King.
Taco Bell has faced its fair share of meat-related rumors over the years. Tales about using grade D meat, or even mealworm-based fillers in its seasoned beef have circulated, but both claims were proven false. The chain was even sued in an attempt to force disclosure of its beef ingredients. That lawsuit was dropped, and Taco Bell confirmed that its seasoned beef is essentially just beef with flavorings, emulsifiers, and a few other approved additives. Still, quality concerns persist. Antibiotics remain an issue, though the company is gradually addressing it. Taco Bell continues to source beef from herds treated with antibiotics, but has started taking steps to reduce that. Texture is another common complaint. On Reddit, one user described Taco Bell steak as having the texture of a thick pile rug, while another noted that the meat can spoil quickly if it sits out after cooking. Whataburger is another chain where the beef might be considered low quality, especially if you're trying to avoid antibiotics. The last time it appeared on the Chain Reaction Scorecard, a 2018 survey ranking fast food chains on their antibiotic policies, Whataburger received an F for having no known policy in place. While it hasn't shown up on more recent scorecards, the company still doesn't seem to have a clear stance on antibiotics. Often compared to California's In-N-Out, Whataburger has built a fiercely loyal fan base. Yet even devoted customers have raised concerns about its beef. One Reddit thread began with a complaint that the patties were dry, with multiple users agreeing that the burgers now seem thinner than before. Other commenters noted a general decline in quality, attributing it to both the COVID-19 pandemic and the sale of the majority stake in the company to an investment firm. Dairy Queen lands on this list partly because it has no known policy regarding antibiotics in its beef. but it's also here because many customers simply aren't impressed with the chain's meat. A frequent complaint is the unusual texture of the patties. One Reddit thread has multiple users noting a strange, somewhat gamey flavor in Dairy Queen burgers, while another highlights odd textures across all locations. This suggests the issue likely stems from the beef itself rather than how individual restaurants cook it. If you visit a Texas Dairy Queen, you might have the option of ordering tacos, though the meat there may not fare any better. One cryptic Reddit comment even warns against the chain's taco meat, though it doesn't provide details, leaving it up to readers to decide whether to heed it. Either way, it seems safer and tastier to stick with Dairy Queen's iconic blizzards.
And suddenly, the Dairy Queen wasn't looking so bad.
Sonic Drive-In struggles with the same two issues that affect many other fast food chains when it comes to beef. First, there's the antibiotic concern. Sonic received an F on the chain reaction scorecard for having no clear policy on antibiotic-treated beef, even though it does have one for poultry. The frequent mention of antibiotics reflects a broader problem. Many chains haven't established transparent policies, leaving consumers unsure about what they're actually eating. The second issue is a perceived drop in quality, particularly with the burger meat. A 2023 Reddit thread highlights complaints that Sonic's food has declined, with some users describing the meat as unappetizing and full of fillers. There's also speculation that a change in ownership may have contributed to the decline, and one commenter suggested that Sonic switched the type of meat it uses. Either way, it seems likely that ordering a burger here could leave you disappointed. Pizza Hut is another chain without a publicly known policy on antibiotics in its beef, earning it an F on the chain reaction survey. While it does have rules limiting antibiotics in poultry, the lack of transparency around its beef places those products in the lower quality category. Even if you don't eat the beef yourself, some experts worry that widespread antibiotic use in livestock contributes to broader health issues. Continuing to source from suppliers without restrictions can also discourage change in the industry. Looking at Pizza Hut's ingredient list, the beef doesn't appear too bad, though it does include extra additives like silicon dioxide to prevent caking. Still, complaints about taste are hard to ignore. One former Pizza Hut employee on Reddit described being unable to eat the beef when asked to try it by a manager, calling it, in their words, absolute garbage.
Is Pizza Hut that great?
Arby's is famous for its roast beef sandwiches, but like Taco Bell, it has been the subject of some unappetizing rumors. One of the stranger claims suggested that the roast beef was made from some kind of gel, liquid, or powder. Fact checkers have debunked this. The meat is real, though it is packaged in a viscous broth, which doesn't mean it's artificially formed. Still, some customers have raised concerns about the quality. In a Reddit thread about fast food items employees won't eat, one user described Arby's roast beef as a block of pressed beef scraps rather than whole roasted cuts. Others pointed out that this is fairly standard for deli-style meat, and many commenters weren't particularly worried. What is more concerning, however, is that Arby's received an F on the most recent chain reaction survey for having no clear, publicly available policy on antibiotics in its beef. White Castle holds a nostalgic spot in many people's memories, though that fondness doesn't stop plenty of fans from complaining about stomach issues after eating just a few sliders. What's causing these unpleasant, and sometimes downright gross, reactions? Most point to the high levels of grease, fat, and sodium in the tiny burgers. Some suggest that gut microbes struggle to process the grease efficiently, producing extra gas. Another possibility is simply that the sliders are so small and easy to eat that people end up consuming more than their stomachs can comfortably handle.